Welcome back everyone to Disco Elysium. You're here with Rain Lafeve, otherwise known as DraxxKraven. You're in for a quiet one. I think I'm coming down with something. Not too bad, but, you know, don't expect any shouting today. Could this be the buoy Klosh told you about? A metal and plastic contraption bobs up and down amidst the trembling reeds. At first it just looks like trash, but if you look closer, that over there must be the buoy Klosh told us about, the one she hid her passport in. We should take a look. Ooh, hidden things, secrets, lies. Cold air, tendons snap the cords, keeping the buoy in place. A little longer and it would be floating somewhere out in the open sea. What? Moves across the water, leaving no traces. You're cold again, as always. Yes, but who or what is this? Splendor. Damn, I felt really strange just now. Mm-hmm. We're lucky it's still here. A little longer and it would have floated away. Let's check it out. The buoy is not tied to anything. The cord dangles from the bottom. Really have been torn or cut. You lift it out of the water easily, noticing how light it is. Let's examine the plastic ball. The number 11 has been written on the yellow plastic. It hasn't been in the water for very long, but it's already discolored and slimy with silt. A latch holds it closed, but only just barely. The brittle metal of the latch has cracked. Shake the buoy. Something's in there splashing around. Sniff the buoy. It smells like you would expect it to smell. A concentrated version of the coast. Salt, industrial slop, and decay. Just a dash of hard liquor. Open it. A shot glass's worth of seawater pours out, some algae and nothing else. Well, damn. No documents. Who do you think took them? I have no idea. This is a minor quirk. We know what was in the buoy anyway. Or think we do. This is a small loose end. Either way, not important, I hope. Huh. Could this be related to the cryptozoologists and their little expedition? In my experience, cryptids are generally uninterested in travel documentation. We should go. You could ask the Misk what she thinks later if you have the time, though you doubt she'll tell you much at this point. Yeah, there's not much more to gather. Woo! Ooh, a little box. Put some change. No boat in the boathouse today. This section of coast hasn't been used in decades. Ooh, hypnogamma and some oversized superstar sunglasses. I approve. Oh, it's one of the traps. Look around. Behind you, the ruins of a residential building loom over the reeds. They whisper amongst themselves confidently. Snowflakes can't cling to their shivering stems. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. Nowhere for drunks and adventurous teenagers to hide. Now only the wind blows. Funny. Reach for the trap. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them. Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. No need to grin. I'm not expecting to find anything. I'm helping some citizens and getting some fresh air. I meant no offense, just... He looks at you putting the trap back on the ground. This boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. More spur change. Okay, so I can't walk over there. I can walk over here. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of the shaded bench, covered in rust. The sign says, Entrée interdite. An old ticket taker booth, no longer in operation. People paid money to park here? No one would pay now. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. Bullet holes, revolution. Feld electrical. Give me a second. Let me raise my visual calculus. I think I have some glasses for that, among other things. Alright, 1 visual calculus. Commander's jacket will give me another little visual calculus boost. I don't think I have anything else that raises my visual calculus, though. Jeez, +2 to encyclopedia. My brain. Nope, I think that's everything. Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's definitely gone down here. Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in general, even in a general average bullet holes frequency in Martinez. Grim affairs. Meaning this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. Why is that? The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles were curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in the world. Alright, let's give her a go. Oh. A row of ghostly shades stands facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least. Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet, no sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. The order was carried out in the afternoon. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed away all the blood. Not a trace remains. What is this? The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. Look at the people against the wall. A host of men, and probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them. Who were they? Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world. Look at the line of soldiers. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people, soldier from side to side, but from which one? Look at the person standing on the side. The commandant, the one who gives the orders, machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face. Who was who in this execution? At first, the lieutenant doesn't say a word. I don't know. I don't know who died here. Lined up beside the horrible wall, it could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War, or it could have been the communists put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. Remember what Trant Heidelstein said about Feld. What if it was the Feld personnel when their assets were being seized by the revolutionaries? Another likely scenario. You mentioned coalition forces. Could it have been them against the wall? Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anywhere in the situation, it was the commandant, the superior, giving the orders. I understand. A cold sea wind blows away the figures. Behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of Feld Electric, now collapsed and dead, but for some rats. You feel drawn, for some reason, to the faded mural again. A lot of the things around here will give you bonuses when dealing with the faded mural. So don't worry if you don't succeed on your first roll. Ooh, more potent Pilsner. No, it's not for me. The door is not only barred shut, it is simply inaccessible. Ooh! A pipe. What the hell is this? What in the fuck? Oh, +2 logic, -1 perception. Ultimate peak focus. Beats the other hat. A door, a building, a hiding place? Could the instigator be inside? There's no way the perp is in here, officer. Look how scared the boards are. Scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed. Huh. Could I try to get through? Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. It's lonely and cold without points. And dangerous. Dangerous, too. Alright. What the fuck? Thanks for the points, physical instrument. I do find the voices of each of our inner thoughts to be very interesting. They do have their own way. Let's go back to the boardwalk. There's one last thing for us to find here. There we are. That's the path. Oh right, I came over here the night previous. I was wondering if I could find the pigs without talking to Everard. You can't. They don't show up until Everard says that she's got your gun. A big wine canister. It's open and empty. Moonshine, probably. Smells like tasty fermentation. Smells awful and familiar. What is it? Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency? That faintly cloying sweetness? Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be. Heads up, Lieutenant. Something's not right here. Careful. Floorboards look rotten and weak. Let's check out the body before we check out the trash bin. A working class corpse. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits, in his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body is slipped between the cracked boardwalk. Starting with the left leg, the fall is left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there. Hold on. The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is, he's been dead for 2 days, no longer. We should investigate. Calm now, carefully. Just another day, just another dead body. Breathe. Let's study the man's clothes. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. Let's check the pockets. A folded library card. He finds some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded in 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy. Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done. Let's study the man himself. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. 40 g of pure alcohol, 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits. Maybe it was just dark. Examine his face. His expression is dull like the sea behind him, drops of water shining in his mustache. His eyes, open, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build, approximately 50 to 60 years old. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely, overcome with the awful surprise of it all. And the surroundings? There's some dried blood on the metal bench right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is in his clutched fists. The head. A dry chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of the head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to the touch. This is what killed him. I don't see any major wounds. Do you? No, just the one on the back of his head. Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench. Check the floorboards. They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was what caused the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could easily have disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would never have found him. The bottle? A 0.75-liter Tolula vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits, with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, to have a good time. Tar all around us. He looks at the 2 other bottles forgotten near the coin-operated viewer. And the chewing gum wrapper? Rabowski Spearmint Chewing Gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. Look in. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there, solidified in his lower rear teeth. He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before he goes home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum, it's always the same. Step back. Who is this man? Looks like one of the locals. You'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think? At least this man knew at a party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that would just be sad. This is an omen, a sign from above. Please don't start drinking again. He looks like me. I could have ended up here, like him, dead on the empty boardwalk with a bottle next to my corpse. Well, at least you're not married. Kim points at the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and grey. What if you were? Let's not try to run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. What should we do with him? From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. Should we do a field autopsy? A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma and leave it at that. Let's keep this detour short as possible. Alright, yeah, I don't see anything criminal that's gone on here. Let's take the case. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station for Mike Kanema. Let them know you're taking the case. What does it seem happened here? This coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years. Yeah, a stiff breeze, a rotten boardwalk, 4 bottles of alcohol. That's a recipe for death. Shish kebab revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter. Tragedy. Whoever tossed it here, Red Astra. Now this makes partying look bad. Still, don't let it sway you. You're responsible. Whoops, I meant to hit leave. Okay, so have a kebab, have some drinks, get away from the family for a hot minute. A stiff breeze, booze in your system, fall over, break your damn neck. Fucking tragedy. To the church. Now that we have the offsite copy. Same address the lead programmer Fortress Accident was looking for. Ah. So if we had gone to Fortress Accident first, we would have a lead to why the programmer was here. I'll write the library card. Jamrock Public Library to Billy Mijon. Billy's a unisex name. Could be the deceased or his family member. Inside? Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio Thriller, Stand a Little, Less Between Me and the Sun, The Glinting Curve. The library stump indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers, too. On the back side, if lost, please return to the card to the library. Dial or visit us. Business hours, 9 to 18. Okay. I can make that happen. Right, I've still got traps to investigate, but let's deal with what's going on here first. If I recall correctly, it'll take some time for the ravers to move in.
Yes, what is it?
About the offsite copy you asked for. I brought you the filament. Yeah. Thanks. Looks like it's the one. What's gonna happen now? Now I'm going to print it out and see what's left of it. Don't waste your time. Printing it out, there's nothing but a speck of white in a sea of ink. It's very broken. A speck of white? That's exactly what I'm hoping to find. What do you mean? Lintel was able to divine the location of the anomaly from this broken copy. I want to repeat that calculation, only this time with much better equipment. Watch. What an intricate display of failure. The paper gets soaked in ink again, its evil blackness shining in the light of the mainframe. It looks eerie. This is wrong. Machines shouldn't behave like that. Cold sweat trickles down your spine. This is spooky as hell. Something's very wrong with that filament memory. Suna doesn't reply, her hands running over the printout. She's looking for something, for the morning star, eyes scouring the millimeters. Here, I found it. Where? Hold on. She's behind the keyboard now, typing in some numbers that only she understands. The terminal beeps and the lights inside start pulsing like a glowing heart. Say nothing. Just give me a second. I'm almost... I've never witnessed a programmer work before. Done. I've got it. I found the location of the anomaly. You did it? You found the coordinates? I found the coordinates. She's beaming. You can feel it in your heart. Great job. Oh my god, congratulations. Thank you. So where is it? Where is your 2mm hole in the world? There. She points at the other end of the church where a group of water bowls forms a ritualistic arch. In the swallow. Think you can help me again? Sure. I need you to move those water bowls for me. I need to double check my calculations. You like moving things around. Moving things around is calming. Just walk over to the circle and follow my instructions. Move the third bull 2 centimeters to the left and the fourth bull 5 centimeters to the right. No problem. We will move those bulls next time on Disco Elysium. Good night, everyone.